Hey guys, what's up? We're going to be doing a fantasy player card video here. I'm here with Siraction Slacks, also of Moonduck TV. How you doing,
Hello.
Slacks?
Oh, I'm doing so good, but I don't know what the F this fantasy challenge is, Purge. Can you
Wow,
help me?
great sell there. I really believe you. That was entirely natural. I didn't prompt you to say that. Okay.
I honestly don't, though.
I
Need
okay.
your help.
So
Okay.
if you guys bought a compendium, you should get 15 packs. I believe that's how it works. Slacks, of those 15 packs, how many golds did you get?
I got 4.
Okay, I got 0, so you're a son of a bitch. How many silvers did you get then? Did you get like what? 11? It's probably 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 silvers.
Okay.
And a lot of reds.
All right. So the way that this works is, the purpose is to basically use these cards in the fantasy challenge. Do you know what the fantasy points are that are in every game? That you can always see it on the scoreboard.
Oh, no. What are those?
Are you being real or not?
Yeah, I'm being real. They're always in the stupid,
You actually don't know what those are? Okay. So
No.
those were put in at TI4, I believe. And at the time, the idea was to allow people to do fantasy sports for Dota 2.
Okay.
So the purpose of fantasy sports is basically just to have like this fun like thing that you can do with your friends to say like, I bet you I can predict certain things about a game better than you can. And it's very common for regular sports. So you'll like draft various players on different teams. You'll choose which days you run those players, and then if they have a really good day, they get a lot of points. So you're basically trying to game the system based on what the fantasy point algorithm is to get more points than your friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you get points for various stuff, and it depends on what role you're playing. If you're playing a core, you get a certain equation of points for kills, a certain equation of points that you lose if you have a lot of deaths. You get more points if you have less deaths. You get points depending on how many last hits or denies you get, your GPM, towers, team fight percentage, the wards you place, camp stacked, if you kill Roche, if you get first blood, and stun duration, just like all this random shit. Okay, so there's
Okay.
like a huge list of like things that give you fantasy points. So what we're basically trying to do is we're trying to take these cards that we have that are modified, like if you get silvers or golds, each stat that you get is modified by a percentage. So for example, if I have a card, let me click on Hanskin here, because I have a silver. It says plus 10% GPM, plus 20% first blood, plus 5% stun. So that means every time that Hanskin gets a first blood in a game, if I'm using that card on that day, I'm going to get 20% extra points for his first blood because I'm using that card. If I use a red card, you don't get that bonus, but you still get all the other stat bonuses. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You
Yes.
sounded a little confident, but not super confident.
No, okay, so you put the card down, and then if he gets first blood, you get plus 10% of the fantasy points for that player.
For that first blood,
Yes.
but not for the overall points. It doesn't like multiply his end score by 10%. It would just say if he gets a first blood in any of the games played that day, then those fantasy points that he gets, normally you will get a little bit more. Like if, for example, if you get a first blood in a game and if it gives you 1 fantasy point just by getting the first blood, Hanskin would then give me, by using this card, 1.2 fantasy points. Whereas if you had a red Hanskin card, you would only get 1 point for that first blood.
Right, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the numbers are
different-
all the cards are different. They're random. Like if I open a Hanskin card and you do as well of a silver, it's going to be probably completely different numbers. It could be different categories. It could be lots of different stuff. So what we have to do now is decide which percentages are really good, and then at the end we'll talk about like when certain teams will be likely to play, etc. Okay. So for most players, for supports, wards are by far the best way that they get fantasy points. It's not even close. So if you have a support card and it doesn't give you ward, it's probably shit, okay?
Okay.
So for any of your gold cards for your supports, if it doesn't give you bonus for wards, you should probably not use them. The other best way is teamfight and deaths are the three that give the most for supports on average. I'm looking at a secret spreadsheet. I'm not going to share it with anybody though.
Oh, okay,
'Cause
okay.
I'm probably not even supposed to be talking about this, but
Oh, there we go.
wards, team fights, and deaths are usually the best way to get those points. GPM for cores is pretty crap. Doesn't give you more than like a point or two. Deaths is the big one for cores. Kills is pretty good. They get a little bit for towers, GPM, team fight, basically all those things. But they're not. None of them are like super focused. The most focused stat is definitely wards. So what you should do is every day that a team plays, you should play a card for a support that's gonna play that places the wards on the team.
Okay.
So you might
So
need to do
wards
some research
planted.
there. Do you have any
That's
good
a
ones?
good one. I got a lot of wards planted. I got Yapsor, 15% wards planted. I got our boy Ice Ice, 20% wards planted.
Okay, that one's really good. Ice Ice does plant wards, I believe. You know who
Okay.
doesn't, though, is Yapsor. Yapsor doesn't place wards. That's Syndren's job. So that card's
Oh!
probably shit.
Oh, okay, get rid of that. What about Deaths for Fenrir? Is that pretty
Fenrir?
good? Fenrir, yeah.
It could be good.
Okay.
It's definitely going to be good the wildcard day. You're on the schedule, right? The Fantasy Challenge tab?
Yes, I'm on wildcard day.
Exactly. So the teams that are playing this day are only 4 possible teams. It's Escape Gaming, it's eHome, it's Complexity, and it's Execration. So this is the best day to use those cards because you know that these are the only teams playing. Now keep in mind that you will collect more points if the teams you have cards for play more games. So ideally, you want teams that are going to win one series, lose one series, and then play the final game, because then they get more games. Does that make sense? They could play potentially 9 games, collect fantasy points for you every single game, and you could get bonuses from having the right cards. So if you have the card variety, you should pick teams that you think are not going to get first, but second. Most likely, because they should play more games.
Okay, so on the 2nd of August, we want to pick only wildcard teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any good ones? What are your best?
looking.
I know you said Yaps already. What are his other percentages?
Oh, I need a sec here. You keep talking though, because I forgot who the wild cards again.
All right, I'll say the Escape, eHome, Complexity, and Execration.
Okay, yeah, I got a Fenrir. He's got 10%
Fenrir,
deaths.
okay.
Fenrir on eHome, and then I got Cinderin. He's got camp stacked +5 and stuns +5. It ain't the best.
That's
but
it?
those are the only.
He just has 2+5s?
Well, he also has team fight +5. I don't know what the hell.
Wow, that's the worst card I've ever. I mean, it's +5. Oh god, it has 3+5s. I've never seen a 3+5s. That's pretty bad.
Well, it's Cinderin, so I mean, what the fuck is he?
I mean, it might be a good card to play. He's the one on his team that plants wards, so.
He's the only one I got from the wild card. So on August 2nd, things are pretty small.
Okay, so basically you're going to want to do these for wildcard teams. You can do this later. But as the tournament continues, there's a lot more days going on. So next thing that happens is you're going to think about group stage. Now
you only get to use cards once.
Nope, you can use them for every day if you want, but it's obviously not a good idea because those teams don't play every day. And if they get eliminated, then you having your hero, your cards be all OG if OG gets eliminated is obviously not a good thing, right?
Right. So you want to update this in real time. You can't do this early.
Basically, every night before the next day, you would want to update these cards. And again, you only need 3 cores, 2 supports. But you should probably, again, the same principles apply. It's how many games do you play? Is that team playing more games than other teams that day? So the way group stage works is there's going to be 2 groups of 8 teams after they figure out wildcards. And then in those 8 teams in both groups, they will each play another team in best of 2s. So that means that there are 7 matches total for each team during group stage. But you can't put 7 games in 3 days without doing 3 games, 2 games, 2 games. So every day there's going to be some teams that play 3 games instead of just 2. So on those days it's probably better to adjust your cards to the teams that play 3 games because like we talked about in Wildcard, you're going to get more points that way.
Okay.
So we don't really know what these are yet because the schedule isn't out. But when we find out, we need to update these. And then when you get to the main event, some teams will not be eliminated yet, but they'll be on loser bracket, for example. And they're only going to probably play best of 1, so it's probably not worth putting cards for those teams. It's probably better to do winner bracket teams that have best of 3s, for example. So that's how we'll adjust it. And then as teams get eliminated, obviously we're not going to want to put their cards in anymore, things like that. Our boy Ice Ice is clearly going to go ham this event. We know that already.
Yeah!
I got him on silver. It's Obsword planted 5%, Roshan kills 5%. That's not going to happen. And GPM plus 25%. So that's mostly a shit card, I think. But at least I have 5% more Obswords. That'll almost do something. But I have really good OG cards at least, so I can be cool with that.
Good.
I don't even know how much you get for runes grabbed and some other things. I don't think they included those in this chart, but who knows? Maybe that stuff will be big. But yeah, at some point.
Does this mean? Are you going to do a video every single day to update your fan base on what cards they should use?
Hell no, I don't give a crap about that. Come on, dude. I don't have time for that. I'm gonna be like working the event.
Purge?
Got stuff to do.
Are you telling me you don't care about your fan base?
Is that what you're trying to put that on me as if? Yeah, that's real fair. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's just you're probably better off going for the players that are likely to get the biggest points. You got to aim for teams that are likely going to win because then they have more fantasy points. Teams that are going to have longer games because then they plant more observer wards. That way their GPM increases and all this other stuff. You know, it's not about winning necessarily. It's about abusing the fantasy point system. Understanding that is really how you can get the most points. So, for example, if I only open 15 packs, I don't have very good variety. Like, I don't actually have any cards from liquid players yet. Maybe I'll get more. Who knows? But with that said, maybe it's better for me, especially if Liquid's about to win the tournament, maybe it's better for me to only put red Liquid cards down than it is for me to put silver newbie or OG cards if OG's playing worse or something, you know? So so even if you have some extra benefit, it still comes down to choosing the right things and some level of gambling there.
So how do we get more cards?
Well, you can't actually buy them from Valve. All you can do is buy them on the market, I believe. I haven't actually done this yet, but I know some fiends that have spent hundreds of dollars already buying more card variety.
What do you get from this? You just get more compendium points, right?
I think so. There's also a global top 100 you'll see and friends list score as well. So I think you get more levels out of it if you hit global top 100, but I'm not 100%. And I think that's what these guys are aiming for.
Nice, nice. All right, all right.
Does that make sense?
Yep, everything.
That's literally it.
Okay,
I mean,
so
you got grand finals. It's just different days. That's pretty much it. We can't do the rest of these until the days before.
Okay, so if you want to be a good player card master, you have to go in every night, look up who's playing. You want to use your golds and silvers first, and then just
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
If they're on teams that are likely to win and do well, then yes.
Right. Okay. All right. So you go with who you think's gonna win. You put in the best percentages every night, and then you're good.
Maybe, yeah. What if they win too fast though? You know, it's kind of like doing predictions all over again. Like if they're gonna win too fast, then they don't get that many points. I remember this super long game that Notel played where he was playing Chen and he was ulting like all game. He had like 30 some fantasy points because it was a long game and you get points for healing. It's like crazy stuff like that happens.
Oh Jesus. Okay. But at least for August 2nd though, you just put in all your wild cards. That's it. If you do anything else, you're a dummy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I would definitely shame you.
Oh shit! I got ice gold, dude. Oh shit!
What do those points do?
We got GPM 10%, tower kills 5, Roche 25, teamfight 20, teamfight 20. Oh, he's swimming in points.
The team fight's pretty good. If you had Obsword, I would say that's a really good card, but some of those are pretty bad. Okay, it's not terrible though.
You don't have to take me out like that. But...
I'm just saying it's not terrible. It's just a little bad.
Well, that was easy. It's so easy. It's so easy, Purge. You just put cards down for the teams that you got. You don't even have to think about this shit.
I mean, what if you have reds or something? Maybe it's better to do red cards.
What?
I said, what if red cards are better? Because what if you think that player's gonna do better or something? You know?
Oh, but the payout with the percentages is so much better than the red. I mean, statistically speaking, the amount that you could win by putting in a gold versus a red is just a better bet no matter what, bro.
Not necessarily. What if that player fails or something? Or what if like a different team does better? Like I have three escape gaming cards for my course because they're all pretty good cards and I think they have a decent chance of getting second place. Like what if they get knocked out? I'm screwed. Then you're gonna beat me with your crap cards. Like if you put all reds on, you could win. You know.
I like that point. I like the part where you told me what were the really good percentages. Can you do more of that? Is that secret?
Team fight is important for all roles. Wards is really important for supports. GPM is kind of negligible, but all right for all classes. Towers is good. Most cores get those, but it's like the averages are not so good that it's worth prioritizing. Deaths is a really good stat for both roles, assuming that character or that player doesn't die very often. That's most of it. Kills can be good sometimes, but... And then there's a bunch of other stuff. I don't know what the stats do. Or like, I haven't seen the equation fully. Who knows? Maybe getting a lot of runes really gives you a lot of fantasy points or something.
Yeah, that could happen. Okay. Wow, Purge,
yeah, that's it.
I thought this was going to be difficult. What an easy and fun system Valve's created, Purge.
Are they making you say that?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I think the way that I framed it changed a lot. You know, I went step by step instead of jumping in meta. I jumped to meta too fast when I tried to explain any other segment. So glad you got it.
Yeah, we got it now. Well, thanks for watching.
This is my video. I get to close it out when I want.
Close her out, Purge.
The moment is now. Goodbye, everybody. See you.